And we're alive. Hey, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to all the Americans in the crowd. Hello, disembodied hand. Goodbye, disembodied hand. Hi, Tara. Tara beating everybody. Tara beating everybody up in here. Are we about to blow up? Oh. Sorry, folks. Yeah. No, the kobold is declaring war in the kitchen back at the house, and we can hear it all the way out here. But, yeah, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. At least here in America. So, I thought about talking about Thanksgiving and stuff like that, but everything kind of aligned that actually a very, very grim and very special and unique anniversary happens to be falling on today, actually. Think about it. No one in the chat was probably alive when this actually went down.
My dad and your parents would have.
Yeah, our parents would have had to have been alive when it happened.
My dad was born in 57.
Oh yeah, he was a little tyke when this happened.
Yeah, he's about 40 now. How old are you, Dad? About 40? You were born in 57? Yeah, 40. Just a little bit.
Hey, you think that's bad? My mother turned 36 8 times. Anyway, though. No, today...
Speaking of which,
hi, Mom.
Just turned 35.
Yes, yesterday was my birthday, by the way.
Everyone wish this guy a happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
All right, real quick, before we continue on this, I gotta sing him a birthday song.
What?
This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. All right.
Ah! Ah! I felt something.
It's one of your birthdays. Oh, it's roasted.
Ugh.
So, if everybody would wish our host, Kristoff N. a happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday.
Yes.
He just turned 35.
Yes. My mother sent me... Ah, God damn it! Mother... Oh!
Happy birthday, everyone.
Everyone.
Or happy birthday to, Kristoff.
Anyway. My mother sent me that!
Thank you all.
Hi, Choopy. Go over there. Anyway, my mother sent me this adorable, very grumpy Cthulhu that feels weird. It feels velvety. Don't know where she found this thing. It's just so angry to exist. It's adorable. Here, go play with that over there. Don't know what that is. Oh, Open Eyes has jokes. Open Eyes has jokes. No, we have not tried the salsa yet. Hello there. Y'all are going to feel really dumb in a minute having all this fun at my expense when I actually start talking about what is the anniversary today.
But yeah, let's be happy at first, you know.
Yeah, no, let's laugh our butts off and then remember that this is the... God, what is this? The 60th anniversary?
Yes.
Yes, 60 years ago, today, the President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, was fatally shot by a sniper while on a motorcade. Very, very strange. Well, I guess it's not really strange. I mean, if you get hit with a bullet from a high caliber rifle straight in your jugular, sounds kind of normal that you would die, actually. The thing is, and the reason that I want to talk about this, because I said we're talking about conspiracies tonight. If you saw the links or anything like that, we're talking about conspiracies, because the JFK assassination was kind of the granddaddy of American conspiracies. I mean, in fact, actually, hold on here. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, there is an institute There is a college. I didn't write down which college it is. I want to say it's the University of Colorado. Don't quote me on that, though. I could be wrong. But there is an institute dedicated exclusively to cataloging all the conspiracy theories around the JFK assassination. At time of writing, which could have been any number of months or weeks ago even, there have been 42 different groups blamed for the assassination of the president. 82 individual people have been accused of being potential assassins who actually shot him. And, hold on, 214 different explanations as to why they shot JFK have been given. I literally have considered just talking about this incident by itself for the whole episode. I'm kind of afraid to open up the chat. We're still live, right? They haven't just conveniently taken us down?
Oh yeah, not yet.
Not yet. It's going to happen though. I know I joke about that sometimes, but sincerely, chat, if I can just be completely honest with you guys for a second, I actually kind of thought about maybe we shouldn't do this. You laugh over there in the corner, Bishop, but I'm dead serious. I actually thought maybe this is something we shouldn't be approaching.
Well, you can just say it. This was my suggestion 2 months ago when I realized Wednesday, our normal showtime, is going to fall on the 60th anniversary of the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah, it was your idea, I know, but I'm still saying... But, it's my show. I'm the one who decided to do this.
Yeah,
And I'm dead serious. This is I want to say, the second episode I've ever actually thought maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe we should, do something else.
Well, it's the 60th anniversary, and his brother's
son
is running for president. Who is RFK Jr.?
Yeah.
See, he's actually up here. Who's his...
President.
John F. Kennedy's brother, Robert F. Kennedy, who was assassinated in 1968, I believe. Yes. His son is running for president.
Okay. So he's that would make him the... I'm sorry, I hear multiple people talking.
Second best presidential candidate running next year?
No, I'm saying, what is his connection to JFK? Is he...
Okay,
That'd be his nephew?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a son of his brother. So, yeah, it's the nephew of JFK is currently running for president.
So, RFK Jr. is currently running for president. He was running under Democrat. He realized that's dumb. So, he's running independent.
Yeah, you don't really run against a sitting president in your own party. That's not something that you do.
His dad, his father, is Robert F. Kennedy, who assassinated in 1968, who was the brother of John F. Kennedy, president elected in 1960, assassinated in 1963.
I'm not upset about you, Bishop. It's just that I looked in the chat and our resident Lord of Chaos and Open Eyes. Okay, let's address. You know what? Actually, let's take a break for a second and address the lizard people, conspiracy stuff. Okay. No. The lizard people are not going to uprise and take over the world. That would draw attention. They don't want attention. What they want is for the world to continue to be stable in their best interest. Okay? They are not going to take over the world or the government. They don't want that headache or that attention. They're trying to hide.
Now, his Wikipedia picture is beautiful.
Well, yeah, that's not biased at all.
No, yeah, his Wikipedia picture is not biased at all.
Anyway, he looks like a Bond villain poster. Anyway.
He showed his teeth.
Anyway, though. No, lizard people... Okay. Lizard people are not plotting to take over the world. They actually want things to calm the hell down. Because the more attention that there is buzzing around, the more likely they are to get seen and caught with something. And so they don't want that. And we'll actually discuss that more later because it actually comes up and it actually is slightly relevant.
Do you want to bring this picture up because I have it?
I think we're good. Anyway, back to my point. Back about JFK. A race of reptile introverts. I have found my people. You know, Open Eyes. I'm just gonna say, I don't know. Are you a mammal?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Johnson.
Anyway, yeah, Dad, you actually bring up a good point. The most commonly accused group of actually assassinating JFK, there's two. It's actually tied. And here we go. Here's where we might lose our connection conveniently. Bishop, just keep an eye on it.
We have dropped 0 frames.
So far.
And we are in the green.
The two most consistently accused groups are the World Bank Group, which, by the way, I learned something interesting. The World Bank Group is different from the World Economic Forum. I did not know that. I thought they were the same thing. But they are two different groups. I don't understand the difference, but whatever. Anyway, because a lot of people get that mixed up. They think, oh, the World Economic Forum killed Kennedy. No, actually, they didn't exist back then. The World Economic Forum is much more recent. Also, we're going to put up a disclaimer real quick. To the FBI agent who monitors me, I see you out there in the bushes. I want to state very clearly, I'm not accused. I felt something. What happened? Are we good?
There was a blip or something, but yeah, we're good.
Okay, we're good. Anyway, I am not accusing anyone of anything. I am only relaying the stories about these conspiracies, okay? We got that? We're all good? I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just telling the story. Random chills running through this desert tonight, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little blip.
Anyway, but the most commonly accused are the World Bank and the CIA. Which is another kind of group that I don't really understand. Like, why do we have the CIA and an FBI? I mean, don't they do the same thing, kind of? I'm sure somebody in the chat who knows way better.
I can explain that and offend everyone.
Oh. Please don't. I don't understand how this. Real quick. So, I'm just gonna air some grievance that I have with the production of this show that people don't realize how much I put up with. This microphone, it seems to get worse the closer you are to it, because it'll pick up the bishop perfectly clear and beautiful, but me, I either sound like I'm screaming bloody murder, or I sound like I'm talking through a wall half the time. I don't get what is with it. It doesn't like me. I think that's what it is. I sincerely think it is sentient and it doesn't like me. Specifically, it picks up everybody else. Fine. It can hear the kobold back in the house in the kitchen. Clear as a bell. I am right here. I could reach my hand out and punch it right now. And I have audio problems. Aliens is the only explanation.
Yeah, I'll inhale and it'll sound like the winds of the Arctic, and then you'll talk and it's just kind of like just barely a whisper.
Open eyes, my body is none of your business, primate. Bold of you to assume I'm a primate, you little bastard. That's a funny thing, actually. I've heard some stories about the reptiles, that they're so good at blending into like society that there are lizard people who don't know they're lizard people.
Chester Roach put it right, and politely. I was going to say the exact same thing, only
FBI is domestic, CIA is international. Okay.
because the FBI goes after.
Yeah, I can. No, I can already feel some FBI agent. I can feel them watching like, oh, say it. You know what? Mention an island. I dare you.
I'm not going to mention an island.
Of course not. But anyway. Anyway, though, but no, the two big ones are the World Bank and the CIA. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I partly didn't want to, like, trigger anything, so I wasn't able to dig super deep when I was researching this. Because, well, partly because I don't know the whole connection with the CIA being the ones that wanted to kill him. I've heard some people say that they wanted to do it, that the vice president was the one who actually gave the order. But I have a problem with that theory. Why would you kill the president and become the president yourself with less than a year before the election?
I can answer that.
Can you do so in a way that doesn't get me shot?
The assassination happened in 1963. Lyndon Baines Johnson, LBJ, became president. He was re-elected in 1964. He declined to run in 1968 because he was such a piece of crap in Vietnam. He had to decline to run for president.
If a little red dot appears somewhere on me, that's not part of the show, folks.
And he,
could you please not insult them while they're spying on us?
And then
Anyway,
in 1968, he declined to run again because he knew he couldn't win because of stuff that was happening in Vietnam. And
right, because he mismanaged the war.
But yeah, he was actually elected in 1964.
So he actually won an election.
Yeah. So the theory is, there is the theory that LBJ did have Kennedy killed.
So he could run.
Yeah, he immediately became president automatically.
But he still had to run for 64.
Yes, and he won. But then 1968 was just so bad.
Everything went wrong.
That he declined to run.
Your dad's proud of you, apparently.
Oh, thank you, Dad. And then he
check for vans out in the desert today. Yeah, don't worry. I have my faithful undead dogs. They'll guard me. They'll protect me.
Yeah.
Right? Rosadoo will curse him. There you go.
But that's the theory of LBJ having it. And he just knew he couldn't win, so he declined in 60.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I see it because, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't stand a chance if he ran against JFK. JFK was stupidly popular. Although I wonder if people remember him being popular because it's so tragic that he died so abruptly and actually really violently.
Well, he was also running against RFK, Robert Kennedy, who was assassinated in 1968. Martin Luther King Jr. was also assassinated in 1968. Mm-hmm. There was the problems at the Democratic National Convention, and then there was also the Tet Offensive and what was going on in Vietnam. And
yeah.
The theory is he realized, I can't do it, I have to back down.
Everything was going wrong. The 60s were a hell of a time, weren't they, though?
I didn't live through them.
I didn't either. But I'm saying, like, because I feel like there's kind of a rose-tinted effect with the 60s, because, to be fair, yeah, that's where we got the counter-revolution, and we got, the fight back against censorship. But if you look at it, actually, the 60s were a bloody freaking decade. There was a lot of life, paid. But no, yeah, you actually brought up a good point. Freaking, so many people were hell. Didn't X die? Wasn't he shot in the 60s? Malcolm X?
Malcolm X died in 68, I believe. I'll look it up.
No, wait.
There's a question. Who killed Jack Ruby? Jack Ruby died of cancer in
No, he did not die of cancer. He died from an artery swelling in his lung.
Yeah, it was a medical condition.
A medical thing, yeah. But actually, okay, let's bring that up real quick.
Malcolm X, I think he died in 68.
So
1965, he was 39 years old when he was assassinated.
Really? He died before King?
Yes.
Yeah, he was on a stage or something like that. He was on was he doing a seminar or something?
He was honest. That's a whole nother thing in itself.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, like, the point I was getting to
stage.
is the 60s, we kind of remember them fondly because it was, to be fair, a lot of good things came out of the 60s. But looking back, God, it's just so much death. And it's all assassinations and stuff like that, or murders, you know? But no, wrap your head around this one, folks. So, the official answer, and I'm not saying this is true or false, I'm saying this is what's told, was that the sniper who actually shot JFK was Lee Harvey Oswald. That's how it's pronounced, Oswald?
Yes, Oswald.
Yeah. He was arrested a couple hours after the actual shooting happened. He also shot a Texas police officer. I've heard a few different stories, like that he got into a shootout with a cop, and he fled into like a theater. I've heard different things. Like he tried to hide inside of a building, and they actually stormed it and grabbed him. But 2 days later, he himself was shot by Jack Ruby, who just 2 years later died from, I'm going to try and pronounce this correctly. Watch me butcher this word. Pulmonary embolism.
Yeah.
Which is where an artery inside your lungs becomes dislodged or swollen, and it prevents you from being able to absorb oxygen.
That would be the kobold who could tell us that.
But no, the whole thing about him dying from cancer, he did not die from cancer. Now, here's the thing that I find interesting.
You poured cereal in there?
I expect a saw to just appear, around my ankles, and someone like cut a hole underneath my. That sounds like a saw. Anyway, I've been trying to look into this, and I couldn't find anything more. I don't know if this was a condition that he had for a long time and it caught up to him. I don't know if it was because like something happened to him. There are stories that he was actually poisoned. But here's another weird thing. I tried to look up why, because he shot Oswald. When Oswald was in police custody, by the way, he literally he was being walked to a court, I think. And Ruby was just there and got him, I want to say, in the side of the head with a snub nose, I think. Don't quote me on that.
I've seen the video long ago.
Yeah, he literally just walked up to him. But then 2 years later, he himself died. But I could not find anywhere where he made any statement as to why he shot Oswald. Now, I mean, there is an obvious answer. I mean, hey, if you had the chance, would you shoot the man who murdered the president?
No.
I said the question, and then I realized who I was asking, and I was like, he'd probably shake the guy's hand. We do not endorse the assassinations of anyone, for the record.
No, because Oswald was in custody. Me, assuming I'm doing it, shooting Oswald shuts him up. So Oswald can't say anything.
Yeah.
Dead men tell no tales.
True.
So, no,
I know, I was making a joke that, of course, you would not avenge the president.
Which president?
Some are more avengeable than others, I think.
But no, that's the thing about it. It's like Oswald died.
You want that son of a bitch alive.
Yeah, Oswald can't say anything. Which just adds to the conspiracy. Also, the sounds in the back is the kobold cooking Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, because tomorrow...
Oh, yeah. No, like I said, the kobold DJ Scraps is in there cooking, getting ready for Thanksgiving. But,
almost as loud as that bowl of cereal he poured.
Hopefully they can still hear me. But no, my father brings up a really good point. So, the rifle that was used to shoot JFK was a bolt action, which means you have to basically prepare it and ready it for each shot you take. Here's the strange thing, though. almost universally, witness testimony say that they heard 4 shots fired off in quick succession. Which, for the gun that he was using, that Oswald was using, he would have either A, broken a record for how fast you can fire a bolt-action rifle, or B, he was using a different gun, something that fired more automatically, or C, there were multiple gunmen. And here's the thing I find interesting. JFK was shot in the neck. A lot of people mistakenly say he was hit in the head. No, the bullet caught him in the neck. But what's weird is that a man who was sitting next to him, in front of him, I think it was? Where was Governor Corn?
JFK was in the back of the car.
But the Texas governor,
the governor
Connolly,
was shot.
Connolly also got hit.
Yeah, the bullet went through him and hit Kennedy, and then there was another bullet.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on
Now,
this.
well, see, here's the thing. Depending on the conspiracy theory, there were 4 gunshots that people heard. We know one was Oswald, obviously. But there are ghost stories on the internet that Kennedy actually had multiple gunshot wounds. He was hit multiple times. The reason I bring this up is because there is a conspiracy to this conspiracy that is meant to counter the conspiracy about the conspiracies. I'm not crazy. Don't look at me like that.
I don't think you're crazy. I'll add one later.
Now,
Piss a lot of people
the
off.
actual explanation given for, why did the bullet hit Kennedy and the governor and go... It's called the ricocheting bullet story. The claim is that there was one gunman, and he only fired once. The sounds people heard was the bullet going through the governor, going through the president, ricocheting off the back of the car, going back into Kennedy. So it was bing, 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 bing. I want to point something out. I am not an expert in firearms. I do not think that a bullet fired from a bolt-action sniper rifle is going to go through one person, through a second person, and then bounce, turning around, by the way, to go back through a body. I'm sorry, I love Looney Tunes as much as the next guy, but that is literally the kind of, you need to invoke the power of Woody Woodpecker to make that work, okay? I'm sorry, I don't... And that's the funny thing is, that's an answer that is legitimately given to dismiss the conspiracies that there were multiple gunmen who shot him at the same time.
They also react to the first several pops. You can't react to a bullet. You're big.
Yeah.
A bullet goes so fast.
Yeah.
I've been shot with a potato gun. You can't even react to that.
No, bullets literally, depending on the gun, a bullet can literally break the sound barrier.
What's
but apparently...
pulmonary embolism?
Huh?
A pulmonary embolism.
It's like where one of your veins explodes.
Yeah, it's what killed Jack Ruby. The report I read said that it was a dislodged and swollen artery in the lung that prevents you from absorbing oxygen.
See, there's only one conspiracy theory that I believe in, and that's that Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing. But he's such a perfectionist that he demanded it be filmed on site.
That's one of my favorite jokes of all time. I don't even like Kubrick, and I love that joke.
Sorry, I derailed you there. I apologize.
Yeah, Chet, the magic bullet, how they shot Kennedy with a magic bullet. Yeah, Chet brings up another good one. There were multiple gun casings found. Yeah, there's a story that one of the bullets ended up getting lodged into the car door. You know, how sad would that be? You're an assassin who's going to shoot the president of the United States, right? And you fucking miss. Because that's one of the stories. Is that, well, no, one of the bullets hit the car door. Okay, but could you imagine being that assassin? Like, man, because you get one shot to shoot the president. You do not get a do-over. You do not get another chance. So if there was multiple gunmen and one of them actually hit the car door instead of the president, he just had to be like, that must have been so horrible for him. That's another thing that people point out for the whole multiple shooters thing, how he got like knocked around kind of. It's funny actually, the bishop was like, so do you want to show the footage? And I was like, no, I do not want to show footage of the president being shot.
I've seen the unedited footage. It's not pleasant.
No, it's not. But anyway.
Also, question about the car. Why isn't that car in a museum?
You would think it would be. I mean, hell.
I think it would be, but it's conveniently not.
That is suspicious. Hell, they have a bunch of Adolf Hitler's cars in museums, actually.
And yeah, like any
but not the one
car,
that.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm pretty sure this isn't there a museum dedicated to the presidential cars?
I don't know about that.
I feel like that's a thing. But anyway, but back to my point. There's a million conspiracies about JFK and the assassination. But I want to talk about my absolute... Mr. Bishop, of course. I knew it. I knew if I mentioned the video, it'd be Mr. Bishop that'd be like, don't wuss out, show it. No, we're not prepared to show the footage, and we're not going to.
See, the thing is, like, most of the footage is edited. I've seen it unedited. It's not pleasant.
I don't know if I've ever seen it uncensored. But anyway.
It might not... It's probably not something they'd show on YouTube. I've seen it in, like, history classes and stuff, and it's like, it's really not pleasant. You don't really want to see that.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to talk about my personal favorite conspiracy about the JFK assassination. Which, by the way, this one has to do with Marilyn Monroe.
That's another... There's so many...
Now, for those who don't know, Marilyn Monroe died 1 year before JFK, actually. She had a drug overdose. Which, we'll get it out of the way right now. A lot of people say she was actually poisoned. A big thing that people talk about her is that, like, some of her personal belongings disappeared when she was found dead. There's stories that she had a diary that she kept that conveniently was gone when they found her body, even though she supposedly devoutly always had it by her nightstand. But it was gone, and no one could make an account of it. It's funny. I've heard... I'm going to go on a side tangent real quick here. I've heard people say diaries are so dumb. Like, why would you just write down, your life and your day? It's like, have you seen social media? Let's be honest here. People still keep diaries. It's just now we don't hide our diaries. We expect and actually get mad when people don't read them. I hate social media, by the way. But anyway, back to my point. She died of a drug overdose 1 year before Kennedy was assassinated. Now, supposedly they actually knew each other and were fairly close. And hold on to your hats for this one, because it's going to get really weird. Supposedly, there is a secret cabal of families who consider themselves to be the rulers of Earth. There is a family to rule over every major continent on the planet. Supposedly, these families are in power because they, and here we go, kids, they entered into a pact to Satan. Yeah, I said it. Anyway, now the problem is that these people rule the world secretly. But there's a problem. Just like their power comes from Satan, supposedly, they fear this very specific bloodline. The bloodline of Jesus Christ. Supposedly, according to this conspiracy theory, before he died, Jesus actually got, what was her name, Magdalene? The hooker that he defended.
Yes.
That was Magdalene.
The theory is Mary Magdalene
had his child,
birthed Jesus' children.
and they went on to like become French blood. They basically became Celts, and would go on to become the French. But anyway, but here's the thing. Before we get too crazy, now here's the thing. Supposedly, these families, these Kabbalists, have worked tirelessly to destroy this bloodline and scatter it as hard as they can. Well, if you believe the theory, JFK and Marilyn Monroe both tied back to the bloodline of Jesus, which meant that if they got together and had a kid, he would be a legitimate challenge to their rulership of the planet. I told you it's crazy. Don't look at me like that. I'm not making this up.
This ain't in the Bible.
No, it's not in the Bible, but it's what they say, okay? Chill out. Yeesh. Anyway, so they had to assassinate Marilyn Monroe to make sure that she did not have a kid from JFK. Even though he's already married at the time, so I've heard stories about that too, that they were having an affair. But anyway, the point is, they specifically wanted to get rid of Marilyn and, well, I guess not really kill them specifically, but they wanted to keep them apart because they didn't want to have a more pure piece to this bloodline of Christ. But obviously, JFK wasn't buying the whole thing that she accidentally killed herself with a drug overdose. He started questioning it. He started, trying to basically run his own personal investigation using the FBI. So they tapped into the CIA to kill Monroe, and later they killed JFK to prevent this resurgence of Jesus' bloodline. Now, the reason that this is my favorite story about the JFK assassinations is because it is so painfully similar to a story written by Robert Chambers called The Repairer of Reputation. Which, by the way, if you haven't read that short story, it's really freaking good. It's long, though. I don't know if I'd call it a short story, actually. It's more like, what are they called, novellas? The Repairer of Reputation. It's a story that Robert Chambers wrote about this whole idea that there's a secret royal family of America that rules it, and so on and so on. And it's just funny because, when I was reading about that assassination theory, I was like, wait a minute, this is Robert Chambers' story. What the hell? You a-holes are ripping off Robert Chambers. You could at least give him a credit for your conspiracy theory if you're going to follow his damn story. I have The King in Yellow somewhere. Maybe I should read some of Robert Chambers' stuff. One of these days. I know it's somewhere. Anyway, though. Funny enough, he wasn't very much of a horror writer. He was actually a poet. Ironically, he was also one of H.P. Lovecraft's favorite authors. But anyway, back to my point. I love that conspiracy theory just because of Robert Chambers. I'm terrified to look in the chat right now. I just know it's going to go absolutely insane.
Where is Cthulhu?
Where is Cthulhu? Cthulhu, I sent him out in the desert.
Jackie wasn't going to share her man with bimbo bread.
Oh, hi, Jesus. What did I miss? Well, I personally got put onto like probably 17 different watch lists now. We're talking about conspiracies, specifically the JFK assassination. Yeah, it's interesting. There's so many theories and things, and then some of them get real weird and go really far off the rails, like satanic royal families and Jesus. How do I put this without going to hell? Oh wait, I don't care. Jesus got busy and had babies.
So did Palpatine.
What? No. First of all, no. No.
Canon. It's canon.
Whoa.
Did something happen? We're good?
Lies from the hallway. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Just remember, it's canon.
Lies.
So is Catholicism. That doesn't stop you.
Ouch.
Anyway, as I was saying, there's a million conspiracy theories about this, and the sad thing is that a lot of people sit there and they try to dismiss conspiracy theories and stuff. I want to point out, there are times when some conspiracy theories have basically been spoiler warnings, really, if you think about it. I'm sure that I would get in trouble if I went into detail about that kind of stuff, but I didn't have any Jesus in the chat. I just have to point out, Jesus, if you were trying to hide the fact you had kids, that's exactly what you would say.
Is Jeebus's favorite song Billie Jean from Michael Jackson? Oh, please tell me you get that joke, Jeebus.
You do a pretty good Michael Jackson, actually. Anyway, though. So, real quick, the big final conspiracy that I want to talk about with the JFK before we move on, because actually, time's kind of flying by. I can't believe it's almost been an hour.
And I'm not even given my conspiracy theory yet.
Don't worry. We still have plenty of time. But real quick, there's a lot of people try to dismiss all the stuff with the JFK because there's so goddamn many stories, and so many of them kind of don't make sense and are just ridiculous. Like, I mean, I'm not even going to touch into the whole, satanic royal family and children of Jesus and stuff. But I'm saying, like, true or false, doesn't matter. It sounds absurd, doesn't it? It sounds like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Again, I'm not talking about real or fact. I'm saying that is a lot to take in, isn't it? Oh, shoot. They must have missed me and hit Sean. His computer blew up.
Oh.
Are you okay? Was that a warning shot, Mr. FBI agent?
Well, they missed Kennedy like 2 or 3 times and
Suppose.
hit the governor.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean. Oh, but that's the scary thing. The governor survived his shot.
He did, and he lived for a long time. When did Governor Connolly die? Wasn't it just recently, actually? Like in the 90s?
Governor Connolly?
Yeah. Sean, you would love Shyamalan.
Governor Connolly passed away June 15th, 1993.
I knew it was in the 90s. Yeah, he lived a long time after.
Let's see.
But anyway, hold on here. What's going on? Sorry, folks. I've got...
5th, 1993 was just about... Yeah, that was 30 years ago. That's not recent anymore.
Go away.
So you know the
Go away.
You know the in the Santa Claus when Tim Allen's looking in the mirror after shaving and he just everything just turns white and he just grows a big beard. I can kind of see that like happening like right here.
I hate you so damn much. You don't realize it, but the soul I don't believe exists inside my body actually left a little bit. Anyway, though. Oh, yeah, Tara says that he survived because the mob liked him.
He's famous for being shot and serving aboard the Essex during World War II.
See, the Kennedy assassination being a mob hit makes a lot more sense.
See, I'd have to kind of argue. He seems like too big of a target for the mob to hit. It would just be like, it would bring trouble to their doorstep.
It would, because the mob are told don't touch.
Yeah, the mob runs like a business.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying that makes it okay, but I'm saying the mob, the actual mafia of America, are very careful and calculating. It seems kind of reckless.
If you really think about it, though, did it really bring trouble to the doorstep? Because it's still a conspiracy theory. It's not actually been confirmed.
This is true.
So
that's a fair point. I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of a pacifist. It's like, it seems like a lot of work. You know what I mean? Sheesh. But anyway, there's kind of a conspiracy around the conspiracies. A lot of people will tell you that the reason there's like 1,000 different conspiracies about the assassination is so that you don't know the truth. You try and look up Kennedy assassination, and you'll get 1 million different articles written all the bloody time.
Are you going to talk about the parallels between the Kennedy assassination and the Lincoln assassination?
There are some.
Oh, there were a lot of parallels that people found.
Yeah. But
you should look it up. That's a rabbit hole right there.
That's another one. The Lincoln assassination. You know what's funny is I actually thought about that one for a minute, but I was like, we're going to be talking about killing the president. I want to lighten up the mood. I want to talk about some fun conspiracy stuff. Some silly things. I can't read that from here. What the hell?
It's why I think the Kennedy assassination is actually potentially a thing.
Oh, I guarantee you there was a conspiracy of some kind in all this mess. Yeah, that's.
Want me to say it or not?
No. Let's not kick that hornet's nest, please.
That's why I think it's it actually is a conspiracy.
There's some. Well, see, here's the thing.
Like something actually happened, and that's the reason why I actually believe it now.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I dare you. You know what's funny?
I'll say it if you want me to on your show. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't care. I care. Anyway, no, my mom brings up a good point. JFK is kind of like to conspiracies what Bigfoot is to cryptozoology. Although I kind of disagree a little bit. I see it with like the weight of it. Like
I don't think JFK is nearly as thick though.
I've never seen a picture of anything but his face. I've literally only seen like headshots of him. Stop laughing. Anyway, I'd argue it's the same power. Like anyone who knows about conspiracies at all and goes into rabbit holes and stuff like that, they know about the assassination and they probably can talk about it ad nauseum. But I'd argue Bigfoot kind of goes in the other direction. Bigfoot brings out good in people. You know what I mean?
Bigfoot's fun.
Bigfoot's fun. The legends and stories of Bigfoot bring people together. They give people optimism and it's fun and things. The JFK assassination it's menacing. It's almost like the Mothman. You know what I mean? How like supposedly if you even look at the Mothman, you'll go crazy and people are frightened. Hell, people who didn't see the Mothman were supposedly terrified of him still.
I like the Mothman. He's fun.
You know what I mean? But you get what I mean. And it's the same thing with the JFK assassination thing. It's like, can we talk about this? How much can we talk about it? What can we say about it, But I do think I don't think Oswald was just some jerk with a gun who decided to do something himself. No, there was definitely a plan and a conspiracy of some kind. Did it involve the mafia or the vice president or or Marilyn Monroe and satanic royal families and shit like that, I don't know about that.
So, if you want some more similarities between JFK and Bigfoot, apparently JFK had a bit of a cushion, from what I understand.
So, what are you talking about on the show tonight? Oh, the assassination of John F. Kennedy. By the way, did you know he had a Kenny Omega ass?
Well, it's in the name. It's in the name twice.
Kenny Omega?
It's in. It was in Lee Harvey Oswald's title twice. Assassin.
That's not funny.
Get out of here!
That's not funny.
Jesus brings a good question. Can we just have Bigfoot be the president? I'd vote for Bigfoot.
Maybe in 2028 we can have Bigfoot.
Tara, I am not going to ask that question live on camera.
You're not going to ask that question?
I hate you all so fucking much. No. I will turn this microphone off. Don't you have a coal mine to be haunting or something? Get out of here! You know what? No, this is okay, because this is what I wanted. I wanted to lighten the mood. I wanted to be a bit more fun. Tara, you should feel bad, though. That's all I'm going to say about that. That is it. That is all I'm going to say. We're going to move on to another topic here. And this one's a bit more fun and lighthearted.
Yeah.
What the hell just happened? Something happened? What the hell? Mother...
What happened? I missed it.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, nice.
Get you. If you would like to apply for a job at the Vacancy Horror, please leave your information in the chat. All right, though, we're going to get on to the next one. We're going to talk about another conspiracy. This one's a bit more fun. Mainly because of the fact that actually it's not a conspiracy. The U.S. government caved and actually admitted this one. They got... I can hear them. I don't know if you guys can hear them, but I can hear them. And it's really distracting, actually. Anyway, Project Blue Book. So Project Blue Book is a thing. It's a lot like Area 51. And what's funny is actually it ties into Area 51. But for a long time they claimed it wasn't real. It wasn't real. There was no Project Blue Book. No, it wasn't a thing. And more recently they went, yeah, it was a thing actually. We did a really bad job lying about it, and you all caught us easily, actually. In fact, what's funny is actually you can go online and read the actual dossier, the actual documents of Project Blue Book. Which, by the way, reveals very odd information. Specifically, the knowledge that our federal agents cannot write by pen to save their lives. I actually read this document, and it's full of scribbles and faded wording. Like it's like they kept having their pen die when they were writing this damn thing. It's kind of funny actually. But anyway, what was Project Blue Book? Project Blue Book was an attempt by the U.S. government to use the FBI to catalog and archive UFO sightings. It ran for they did it for a long time. I didn't write down the exact... Oh, no, here, I did actually. From 47 to 69, the Federal Bureau of Investigations archived 12,618 individual cases of UFO sightings. That means they gathered evidence, they did interviews, they took samples like photographs and things like that. And what's personally I find interesting is that out of 12,618, the U.S. government, who is never willing to admit they were wrong.
Oh, they're never wrong.
They're never wrong.
Yeah.
They themselves acknowledged that there are 701 cases in Project Blue Book that have no explanation.
I gotta sneeze.
Are you okay? I think the bishop is possessed. Mr. Bishop, your son is having an out-of-body experience right now.
Well, you wouldn't let me talk about my Kennedy theory, so I'm not going to have a convenient sneeze about this one.
Are you saying that the bishop is trying to astrally project?
Get out of my desert! Anyway, yeah, there were... distraction!
From what's actually really going on in the world.
Thank you for sneezing on me. Anyway.
Make those dumb nerds think aliens exist.
Well, see, here's the problem.
Don't pay attention to that guy
here's
over
the
there
problem
in the
with.
east.
Well, hold on. Here's your problem. Here's the problem with your theory, there, Bishop. If it was all a flim-flam show, why did they say only 701 of these cases couldn't be explained? Why wouldn't they say more of them?
Because
Why specifically 12,618? Why not 15,000? Why not 50 million?
Because if you mix a lie with the truth, it's more convincing than if you say none. It's like, well, we can't explain any of them, which is the truth. But you're like, well, we can explain like 75% of them, but the other 25 we can't explain, wink, wink.
You know, actually, that makes me wonder something. You're the math nerd. What percentage of 12,618 is 701?
12,618, 701, that's
12,618.
701. That's like 0.7%.
Okay, I'll believe you. Like, why not 1%? Like, I'm just saying, like,
Why not?
like, okay,
why
I
not
get.
50%.
I'm asking you, like, if this is all a flim flam and there's nothing there, why that specific number? I mean, were they rolling? Did they roll a bunch of d20s? Did they use percentage dice? You see, that's the real conspiracy theory. The world is actually just a big D&D game. It's just our DM is like the worst in the universe.
Well, to counter it, it's like somebody's gone for 4 hours.
Okay.
And it's like, well, what's your excuse? This person was beaten up on the street. Where were you? Oh, I just went to Walmart. That's the truth. It took you 30 minutes to go to Walmart. You went and you beat up the person. Then you came back. You mix a lie with the truth to distract from the actual thing that's going on.
I get it. It's just, and maybe this is just that I will confess, I am firmly in the I want to believe category. Now, that's not to say I believe every single story about a UFO. Of course not. Most of them are probably, what's the word I'm looking for? Mundane? Mundane. Most are probably mundane.
But if we're talking about the government and UFOs, you've also got to understand the legal definition of a UFO, unidentified flying object, which we've all seen, because we can't identify the Boeing 747 or LZ-39 flying over Africa. So it's unidentified to us, and then they can come back and say, like, well, you couldn't identify it, well, you don't know. And then they've changed it from UFO to
they have
aerial
some
phenomenon to
they have some other new name.
To conveniently, legally in the courts, trick us in their minds or in our minds so they can...
Yeah.
But the real question is, are there aliens or are they not? If there are aliens, they're trying to trick us. If there's not aliens, they're trying to trick us. Either way, it seems like they're trying to trick us, and the question is why?
Well, I mean, isn't that kind of why governments exist? Like, I mean, like...
And you also notice that suddenly the government's talking
About
about
that again.
aliens, and it's like, you told us to shut up and don't ask questions until, conveniently,
Now, yeah.
2020, so
That's something that
why?
bothers me so much, is Area 51. There were there were generations of people who went to their graves saying Area 51 is real, that were told they're crazy, that were told to shut up, and all these things. And then, what was it, in 06, I believe? No, it was in the Obama administration. Yeah, 06. That was Obama, wasn't it?
That would have been Bush.
That would have been Bush.
Obama was elected in 08. He took office in 09.
When did they finally admit to the existence of Area 51? I thought it was in the Obama administration. Chad, help me out here. Wasn't it Obama?
Admitting that it existed, or what?
Yeah, because there was...
They admitted it existed in like the 60s.
No, they denied
what
it.
It was.
They denied that it was a thing until, like... Yeah, I want to say it was 06, but for some reason I want to say it was Obama who did it.
Wait, that did... Oh, that's a really good question, because it's like...
Yeah, because they denied that it was there. They denied it was there, and it wasn't until the early 2000s, I want to say it was 06, that they actually acknowledged the existence of the Groom Lake facility, which we know as Area 51. Around the same time, they also acknowledged the existence of Project Blue Book.
See, this is what I was going back to. The terminology is very important here.
Yeah,
because this is how
lawyers
and legal things work. This
is how they
you on specific terminology.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful.
They acknowledged that Area 51 exists in the early 2000s. The same with Project Blue Book. Now, the point that I'm trying to make is that it's sad that for so long this was fought and denied and stuff. There were people, good people, who did nothing wrong, that were ridiculed and humiliated publicly and silenced in some cases. And after all that they did, after all the mudslinging, all the slander, all that stuff, they finally admitted it. Like it was no big deal. You know what I mean? They just said, yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's an Air Force base. Yeah, we use it to test stuff out. That's why there's all that weird stuff that happens there. It's because we're testing out prototypes. I had a friend in high school. Well, actually, he was a friend of mine all through school, but he said that he thought Area 51 was a big silo for our nukes. He was convinced that it was just a holding facility for the U.S.'s nuclear stockpile.
I mean, that would make sense. We would want our nukes to be inland.
And hidden. Yeah, but that was his theory about it. But anyway.
See, I have a question about it, but...
Oh, Tara's saying that they're called UAPs now.
Yeah, unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Yeah.
Which...
Personally, it's like...
Conveniently, they'll be like, well, UFO, it's like that.
Well, that's not a UFO.
You can't identify that. Unidentified flying object.
Yeah. But anyway,
Which is literally a bird. Can you identify that
a bird?
No, it's a UFO. You can't identify it, scientist.
That is true. That is true. But anyway. Yeah, no. And we're going to get into something else that bothers me with... this is something you see crop up with cryptozoology a lot. So they acknowledge that there are 701 cases in Project Blue Book that they could not identify. Now keep in mind that this project ran from 47 to 69. That is over 20 years. Over 20 years they could not figure out what these 701 sightings were. And what annoys me about this is that they brush these off as they're inconclusive. I hate that term. I hate that term so goddamn much. Because you see that a lot in cryptozoology. Well, we studied this DNA sample, but it didn't match any animal that we have in our archives. Okay, that means it's a new species. That means it's a species you haven't documented. Well, no, it's inconclusive. No, it's pretty damn conclusive. If you put it into an archive with a million or however many animal samples, and it doesn't come back as any of them, that seems pretty goddamn conclusive to me.
Or there is another way out. The person telling you this is lying to you.
I know, but I'm saying the official answer they give is whenever they can't tell you it's mundane, whether it's a UFO sighting or a cryptid or a sample of something, it's always inconclusive. And that is bullshit. Because, no, it is conclusive. It's just a conclusion that you don't want to say. You see this a lot with Bigfoot. They'll find hair samples. Well, we matched it into our DNA archives and it came back inconclusive because it's not a gorilla. Okay, what is it? You know what I mean? It's like you ran it in a sample and asked a computer, is this an orangutan? And it says, no, it's not an orangutan, and therefore, well, mystery solved. It's no, that's not how that works. You know, but that's something that bothers me because that's how they always dismiss all this evidence. You know, they dismiss witness testimony. Well, you can't use that to verify this. It's like that in itself is verification. If somebody sees Bigfoot and you ask, do you think you saw an orangutan? And they say, no, it didn't look like an orangutan. All you've verified is that it wasn't an orangutan. That does not mean you have ruled out it was a Bigfoot. The same with a UFO. It could have been a Boeing 747. Sure, fine, that's okay. But if you ask only that question, and they say, no, it wasn't a Boeing 47, you have gained no verification. It doesn't conclude anything. It's the beginning of the search, in my personal opinion. Okay, we know it wasn't an orangutan. And again, it's always they stop. You ever notice that? These egghead scientists, they'll get a sample and they'll check if it was one animal. And then that's like, job done. We confirmed it's not an orangutan. I hate that so goddamn much. Because you get these douchebags, what was his name? Destination Unknown. A fuckwit, I don't care.
Josh something.
Josh, fuck off, I don't care. I hate that guy, I really do. No, seriously, he makes my blood boil. Because he is like the king of half-assed cryptozoology. You know what I mean? Like he actually found a hair sample. Physically in his hand. You could probably count on one hand the number of people who actually got physical samples from Bigfoot study. It's actually extremely rare. And he passed it off, and they did a genealogy study on it. They compared it to an orangutan. It came back negative. And then they said, well, the results were inconclusive. We couldn't find a match.
Yeah, there was...
you ran it against one kind of animal.
Yeah, there was a guy, this was like 2018. Bigfoot expert. Not our guy, Joe Bob Jericho. Bigfoot expert. He spent 2 months in the woods, didn't see Bigfoot, concluded Bigfoot didn't exist. He was mocked among the crypto.
He deserves it.
All he proved was he did not see
in those
Bigfoot.
2 months, he did not see a Bigfoot. That's it.
Yeah. And it's like, well...
I've gone months without seeing my boss. I'm pretty sure I'd get in trouble if I said he doesn't exist.
And then, here's one for you.
Okay.
Everybody says...
my blood's getting... I can feel my blood pressure, by the way.
The cat in the box. Until you lift up the box, is there a cat in the box? Is
or
there
not.
Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat.
Prove I'm behind the camera and you're not just pushing buttons with your toe. Do it.
Prove that the Taco Bell exists since it's out of our...
Oh, God. Do you want to come on the show and talk about the Taco Bell?
And it's like when people do all this, like, well...
It's denial for the sake of denial.
Prove I'm here. I can't prove I'm here.
Well,
I don't fucking care.
See, I mean, I could argue that I can prove you're here through my own...
You can argue that I'm here. I can argue
our crowd can hear you.
You're pushing a button with your toe with these...
I am not putting my feet on camera.
2005 soundboards. Prove I'm behind the camera. And that's the same argument that everybody makes. It's like,
Yeah, and it's annoying because it's a poor argument. And for the record, I'm not saying you have to believe everything or believe in everything. That's perfectly fine. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of stuff I don't think is true. I mean, granted, I haven't talked about much of those things on the show because, well, I'm obviously not going to sit here and devote 2 hours, 3 hours to talking about something I think isn't real. That'd be kind of dumb.
And the open eye says, no, I can't prove the sun exists. I have a counter to that. I don't care. And that's what I say. It's like, well, the quantum physics, black holes, and planets. It's like, maybe they exist. Maybe they don't. I don't
kind
care.
It's kind of that. The sad thing is, and this is going to sound like I'm taking a stab at you. I swear I'm not.
Right here, I'm here. That's all I care about right now.
Well, that's kind of the funny thing is because people bring that up with my atheism. You know, it's like you just deny it to deny it. No,
but that's the thing.
The thing is with me, one way or another, it doesn't really affect my life. My life isn't going to change. I'm not going to behave differently if there is X, Y, or Z deity. It is irrelevant to my life, to the way I live my life. Well, now, some people can argue it's an important thing. Well, in your life, it's important, and that's perfectly valid. Just like it's perfectly valid in mine that it's not. But that's a big thing with conspiracies. Is it kind of you do have to eventually acknowledge how important is this? Or like the assassination of JFK. I mean, yeah, it was important, but I'm saying in our lives, right now, if I somehow, some way proved, I'm going to use that term loosely, proved that there were 2 other assassins, that Oswald was actually working with, say, 2 other people. Just making sure no one's sneaking up on me. Let's. I did it. I feel it again. What the hell? Anyway, but let's pretend for a second.
Oh, we dropped 900.
Oh, we did.
We're good.
Okay. Well, let's say that there were 2 more. There were 2 more assassins who worked with Oswald. What has changed?
The theory is there were 3.
See, I've heard 3. I've heard that there were 4 gunshots. I don't know. But anyway, let's say for a second that there were 2 other gunmen. What has changed?
You're asking literally? In your life, my life, the Kobold's life? Nothing.
Nothing changes. Now, it might have
it
has implications, yes, on a larger scale.
But that's the thing.
And see, that's kind of why I like talking about this stuff, actually. Because at the core of it all, in all truth, we're just telling stories that we like. We're just talking about stuff. You know what I mean? It's like...
Well, it's like when
I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm going to change the world with my 410 subscribers. Even though, actually, we've been, like, pretty consistently losing people. So, no, I'm dead serious. It's funny. Every couple episodes from one side to the other, we lose, like, 2 or 3 people. And it's like, I just keep insulting people and making them not want to watch my show, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but you, like, gain 6 and then lose 4 and then 6.
Yeah, 4, it's always...
So it's very...
It's weird. That's always how it works. We'll always get a whole bunch of people, and we'll lose some, and we'll just keep trekking on. But, no, I'm... Nothing's going to change around here, which is perfectly fine. I say let's have some fun with it. It just annoys the crap out of me when people... deny these things just to deny them.
Well, yeah, that goes back to my point. Like, Bigfoot's fun.
Bigfoot's fun. Why wouldn't you?
I've not seen Bigfoot. And even if I did, I can't prove to you. I mean, for all you know, I'm lying.
Yeah.
You don't know, as the viewer.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would believe you.
Well, yeah.
But
that's the thing with all conspiracy theories, and what my point is, it's like, somebody can say something, that doesn't mean it's true.
Or false.
Yeah, exactly. Just because somebody has authority doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, that's another big problem, is you have people like Josh Gates, for example, who will tell you that they're an authority on cryptozoology, and it's like, you're a douchebag with $1 billion camera crew following you around, okay?
Or look...
I hate that inconclusive.
We're talking about presidents. Look at our last 4 presidents.
Oh my...
And then the 5th
Do we have to?
Who... At least he admitted he lied.
Valid point.
But yeah, people can lie to you.
Bill Clinton did nothing wrong.
Clinton shouldn't have lied about it.
He shouldn't have lied about it. But you know what?
And that's why he was impeached, because he lied about it. He should have been like...
Yeah, that was the actual thing that he was impeached for.
He literally should have just pointed stage right. The camera should have panned over
to Hillary.
And it's like...
I know we're gonna get kicked off the air, but I'm gonna fucking say it anyway. Okay? If you had to climb in bed every night with Hillary Clinton, you'd have an affair too!
That's all he should have said. What?
Shh. If you listen
Clinton
carefully...
didn't have to lie.
If you listen carefully, you can hear the CIA operatives coming up the stairs right now.
He didn't have to lie.
He should have been honest about it. Hell, people would probably have supported him if...
I can't really criticize him other than he lied.
It was wrong to lie.
Yes, it was.
It was wrong to lie, but I felt something. You touched my hat. What did you do? Chat, help me. Ah, God!
And my dad will probably disagree, but the only two Democratic presidents that I've actually kind of liked have both been name dropped this show. JFK and Clinton.
Oh God, here comes frickin' the Lord of Chaos.
I'm standing right here.
No, you are not the resident Lord of Chaos. That is Sean, my little brother.
Which
Hold on,
is
okay.
about the same amount of Republican presidents that I've supported. Or actually liked.
I don't support any presidents. I don't know.
Actually, no, I can only name one Republican that I actually like who's been president. Huh.
Sean brings up actually a really good tangent in the chat here.
Do I want to look? Is it about me?
No, it's not about you. Actually, he's agreeing with you. How with anthropology. By the way, he's studying anthropology at Tulane. Tulane? Yeah, Tulane. A lot of people put themselves on pedestals and put their interpretations as the only truth. In reality, finding out the past from archaeology needs time and multiple interpretations, and saying we're right first try is just crazy. And don't get me started on ancient alien archaeologists who have the rigor of saying this thing looks like another thing.
You blew my mind.
I know it's scary when you have to agree with the resident Lord of Chaos, isn't it?
No, I'm actually thinking of like presidents I liked.
No, don't go somewhere I can't follow, man.
I've only liked
Politicians all suck. It's in the name. Poly, meaning many, ticks, blood-sucking parasites.
I've only liked one Republican. Ah!
I don't like any of them. They're all rat bastards. Who was it? There was a famous quote. I don't know who said it. I want to say it was one of the founding fathers. Freedom will occur only when the last king is strangled with the entrails of the last priest. I don't know who said that, but I like that quote actually.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, the world will freedom will happen only after the last king is strangled by the entrails of the last priest.
I don't like any of them. I'm not a fan of the politicians.
No, I don't like them.
There's somebody cool. I mean, when it comes to religion, there's only one person I like, and that's Jesus.
He's cool. I will admit he's not my favorite character in the Bible.
I'm not
I like
fan
him.
of the popes.
No, not really. This current one is like less shitty than the other one I remember. Because in my lifetime, I only remember the current one, which is Francis, and then the previous one was Benedict. You don't know this.
No.
Why does the atheist know the Pope's better than the Christian?
Because I'm non-denominational. It's not in the Bible. It's I don't care.
Fair enough. That's actually a good point. There is no Pope in the Bible, I think.
Okay, the Pope's cool. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny story. Would you believe I have the same authority as the Pope?
Would you believe?
I just have a better hat.
That's true.
Yeah, see, even Sean agreed. Oh, wait, what? My mother's saying she's having... Okay, I think that's on her end.
That would be on her end. We've only dropped 933 frames.
That is kind of weird, though. Jesus, why did I have to work today?
Oh, guys would all just gang up on me, Dr. Bible.
Well, I felt it didn't need to... I thought it went without saying, but I, for one, actually greatly value you as an advisor and talk about this, because I wouldn't know a quarter of this crap myself. But at the same time, you're my friend, so therefore I must also give you shit, Dr. Bible.
See, when it comes to me, it's like, what does the Bible say? If it's not in the Bible, what do I feel? Otherwise, I don't care what the Pope says.
Like I said, not a huge fan of him. But anyway.
But we went way off topic. Bigfoot is Mexican.
There is a Bigfoot in Mexico. I'm sure of that.
Jeebus Coral right there. Bigfoot is Mexican. And the open eyes. I'm British. You can't prove to me that this sun exists. We got that one.
I like Sean is coming to your defense actually here, saying Jesus was a pretty cool guy. Like I said, he's not my favorite character.
Actually, look at what he says.
He's pretty cool. There were a few things I would kind of disagree with. Bit of a temper on him, actually, I think. I don't think he was wrong, per se, but I have to say, causing a stampede through a marketplace...
Maybe cursing the fig bush.
Yeah, the fig tree, yeah.
He didn't.
Bit of an overreaction. Okay, okay, yeah, it was on her end. She fixed it. Yeah. Anyway, though, but like I said, yeah, no. We got all kinds of off topic, but
and I feel
it annoys me.
My part, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine, dude. The point I was trying to make is it annoys me when there's people who deny this stuff, like conspiracies, like cryptozoology, like ghosts, like all these things that we talk about. And there's such a smug dismissal. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I said that the test came back inconclusive, therefore the matter is done. No. A test coming back inconclusive is like step one. That is that is level one. That is like, you don't even get an EXP for that. You get, like, you're grateful you finished the tutorial. You know what I mean? But, anyway. Screenshots, what? Hold on. Has my father been... I think my dad's been sending me stuff. For the record... Yeah, okay.
I mean, look at him.
Well, no, I'm just saying, I keep my phone silenced during the shows, so if you've been sending me stuff, people, yeah, know that I cannot... I have no knowledge of... Yeah, I have no way of knowing when you guys send me stuff. Stop that! Like every episode they had to put... I actually caught that. Stop it. Why are you not at your station? What?
He said he sent you screenshots or something.
Yeah. Huh. That is very odd. But we're going to look into that. Yeah, so, Dad, sometimes if certain words are in a comment, YouTube will automatically, basically block it. It might be conspiratorial, but it's most likely that you're just provoking the algorithm, and that's how it's happening. Sean, you would trigger the algorithm a whole bunch. But anyway, so somehow we haven't actually been taken off the air. That's the impressive part for me, personally. But we are going to wrap this up talking about one more conspiracy real quick. Yeah, I got the screenshots you sent on my phone. I saw that. Yeah, like I said, it's sometimes the algorithm will just think you're saying something that's not appropriate and will automatically take it down. That's not something that's happened. That's not something that's being done deliberately to us. So it's okay. Calm down, dude. But we're gonna talk about one last one, and this is a weird one. Sorry, excuse me. It's a conspiracy that everyone gets wrong. It's a people just wandering around in the desert over there. We're gonna wrap this one up with the conspiracy that everyone gets wrong that I've seen. The conspiracy of Operation Sandbar. Now, most people know about this incorrectly. The conspiracy of theory is that Operation Sandbar was a mission carried out by the United States Marine Corps to investigate territory controlled by Cuba. Or Cuba. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. Is it Cuba or Cuba?
Cuba.
Cuba, thank you. Now, we know about this operation from the renowned conspiracy theorist Clarence Lee. But here's the problem. See, he became famous after the 1976 incident, which I don't even need to go into that. We all know that one. We're not going to drudge up that one. But basically, he stood on trial, actually, and testified against the Encompass investment firm. He got in trouble because certain political figures who were supporting Encompass tried to say that he, in doing this, committed treason by revealing government secrets. No, he did not. He was found innocent, of course, by that. But what he did was he testified in court that, yes, during his career as a Marine, he encountered Encompass personnel who opened fire on U.S. Marines, and actually 4 of them ended up being killed because of Encompass. That's all he said. He never actually mentioned a specific operation. Years later, when Clarence had retired from the Marines and actually started a radio broadcast show, he had a caller who routinely would speak to him, who called himself Son of Sal. Son of Sal claimed that he was the son of someone who served alongside Clarence Lee. And Son of Sal mentioned Operation Sandbar. But he never went into detail about that either. But the name Operation Sandbar comes from Clarence Lee's show when he was retired. The testimony that he gave when Encompass was on trial after 76 is not Operation Sandbar. They had no connection. Because in the testimony, Clarence Lee claimed that 4 U.S. Marines were killed by Encompass personnel. He even specifically identified the, at the time, Chief Staff Officer, Oscar Clyde. Oscar obviously wasn't in the trial, you know why, but he identified from a photograph that, yes, he saw Oscar Clyde, the Encompass Chief of Staff, at this incident where 4 Marines were killed. But he never said it was Operation Sandbar. Operation Sandbar was mentioned by this caller who would routinely speak with Clarence, who called himself the son of Sal. Make sense of that, I dare you. But he claims Sal, his father, Sal, served alongside Clarence, and it was in Operation Sandbar that this guy named Sal died. Here's the problem with that, though. The incident that Clarence Lee testified over, there was no Sal among the Marines who were killed. So Operation Sandbar couldn't have been that thing. Because there was, help me out here, who was it? Lucas Jones, Duncan Brown, Clarence Lee, he survived. I'm saying the ones who died. Duncan Brown, Lucas Jones, I believe, was another one. It's hard to say. I don't remember. I'm terrible at names. But anyway, the point is there was no Sal among the casualties of whatever operation Clarence was testifying over. The whole reason that Operation Sandbar became synonymous with Clarence Lee was because of his talk show. And that's why I wanted to kind of wrap the show up talking about that conspiracy, because there's a million of those things about Operation Sandbar and what it was and what actually happened. How did it relate to the incident of 76 in the town of Peeksport? And of course the infamous Brawley family and so on. But yeah, no, everyone gets that wrong. Sandbar was not the operation that Clarence Lee testified over. Everyone gets that wrong. But anyway, that was kind of one I wanted to talk about. I'm kind of surprised we haven't talked more about Encompass. They're involved in everything. Any kind of spooky story you can tell about, a big. Well, I guess they weren't. I guess they were kind of big. They were weird because they weren't a corporation. They were a privately run company owned by the Brawley family. And they had money in everything, all across the country, all around the world, actually. Which is why it was such a big deal when 76 happened. And funny, I'm talking about them, and suddenly something just falls over.
It was the water bottle.
Yeah, just a random weird.
So the FBI agents, they have technology nowadays to shrink down, and they're small, about the size of ants. But they have protection against ants, which are scary. And they're giving us a warning by pushing over our water bottle that we use to water the plants.
Our micro-sized FBI agents are annoyed that we're talking about Encompass, especially because I mentioned they had political backers. Is it really a coincidence that when Clarence Lee was willing to testify against Encompass, that suddenly, all these politicians were like, oh, that's treason. He can't talk about that. He can't do that. Funny enough, it was a politician who came to his rescue. Then Governor of California, Joseph Briggs, he actually was like, you can charge him with treason if you want, but my state will protect him. He is absolutely allowed to speak. And what's funny is a lot of people say that wasn't even needed. Clarence Lee's testimony just proved that Encompass were a bunch of bastards. It really didn't have anything to do with the Peeksport incident in 76. But anyway, I wanted to get that one off my chest because I'm so tired of hearing about that one. Because everyone gets it wrong. Operation Sandbar was not what Clarence testified over. The data doesn't match. He mentioned 4 Marines were killed. There was no Sal or Salvador or whatever the hell. So it couldn't have been Operation Sandbar. Now, to be fair, Clarence Lee was a storied Marine. He had decades of experience in the Marine. I'm sure he probably was involved in lots of operations where people didn't make it home. So it's not like there's slim pickings, But Operation Sandbar lives in infamy because, well, Encompass lives in infamy, honestly. But that's something that always kind of bugged me, is people get it wrong. He did not commit treason. He did not say what the operation was or what was going on. Just that, yeah, there was a confrontation with the U.S. Marine Corps and Encompass. And it was, and this was not an accident that happened, you know. This was very real, because literally the chief staff officer of the company was there. He was involved. Clarence saw him and was able to identify him from a photograph. Of course, that raises the question, what happened to Oscar Clyde? Because conveniently, he wasn't, you know, after everything that happened, he couldn't stand trial. He never showed up. He never was found, actually, if I recall correctly. He disappears. Who knows where he is? But, you know, sometimes I can still hear that horrible voice. Anyway, though, somehow we managed to not get taken down. God. I'm okay. I had a sneeze. We're getting about the time to wrap up, actually, and I'm amazed we haven't lost anything. How are our frames?
We lost 933, but that was
a while
about
ago.
an hour
We're
ago.
stable?
Yeah.
Okay. Chet got scared by the algorithm blocking out some of his stuff.
933, I didn't even notice it, so I don't even know when it
Yeah.
hit. It was literally back toward the end of the Kennedy stuff. And yeah.
But anyway, Sean?
Both.
I'm not going to answer that question. Oh, I'm sorry. I read it wrong. I thought he asked, is Oscar handsome and single? I was like,
No.
he'd be, assuming he's still around, because to be fair, we don't know where he went. He went and hidden himself in the deepest, darkest hole he could find, I guess, after everything that happened in 76. But no, I thought he was asking if Oscar Clyde was handsome and single. Even if he's still
Single,
alive,
maybe?
if he was still alive, Oscar Clyde served in frickin' the Korean War. He'd be ancient. Hell, he'd have to, even if he didn't die, because that's another conspiracy theory about how, you know, what happened to Encompass's chief of staff, and, you know, all this weird shit happened in 76 simultaneously for Encompass. And there's a lot of questions that are like, well, wait, where did this person go? This person just dropped off the radar. Which is weird, because Oscar Clyde was like the face of Encompass for a while. He loved to hear his own damn voice. And then suddenly he disappears. But hell, yeah, no, he'd have to be dead by now. Because he was a grown man. He served in Korea. I mean, what was Korea?
50 to 53.
Yeah, 50 to 53. He'd
So,
be a... How what's the youngest you can get into the military? You gotta be 18, don't you? To actually enlist?
Legally, but I mean...
Legally.
World War II, I mean 13, 12, I mean... Legally, you have to be 18.
So, okay, even if the youngest, he'd been 18...
Average age is about 19.
Okay, either way, still. Okay, so if he was like 18 or 19...
Assuming he was 20 in 1950, he would be 80...
Okay, so I guess he could still be alive. He'd be old enough to be the president, but no, he could still be alive, I guess. I mean, we don't know.
Compared to the president, I mean, that sounds young.
I know, right?
I don't know,
but anyway, I thought he was asking...
oh, my dad, yes,
your grandfather?
Yes. Both of my grandfathers
Were
on
in
my
Korea.
father's side and my mother's side served during the Korean War. My cousin, as in my dad's brother, served during the Iraq War. I mean, well,
Yeah, but
yeah, I looked into it
the
for
point
about
is-
2 years, but yeah.
the point
both
the
my
point is, yes,
grandfathers,
he might not have died from like old age by now. He could still be kicking around. I don't know if I would want to. Sean? I mean, I know he
he's
was asking
talking
about something else,
He's
but I
talking
thought.
about the Peak Sport Flyer, not Oscar.
I know. I'm saying I read it as I thought he was asking about Oscar, and I was like, no,
I mean,
no.
even if Oscar was 20, no.
No, he was a horrible man.
Or-
The stories we could devote a whole episode talking to the horrors that supposedly Oscar Clyde and the Brawley family did.
It don't matter the age. He's a horrible person. No,
Evil man.
Yeah, Sean was talking about the Peak Sport Flyer, the random.
Yeah.
He
Okay,
always-
real quick, I'll answer that question. The Peak Sport Flyer, for those who don't know, is a cryptid that's been supposedly seen around Southern California. Specifically, it's known for appearing over the city. Well, not city; it's a town. The town of Peaksport, which partly isn't even there anymore, thanks to frickin' the 76 incident. But anyway, we're getting way off topic, and I keep saying that I want to have our shows. I keep saying that I want our shows to be about an hour and a half long, and it's been over that actually. So, and I know if I don't stop myself, we're just going to keep on going.
My uncle served during Vietnam.
My grandfather was in Vietnam.
He told me on the phone.
My great uncle Paul also served in Vietnam.
They stuck him in Antarctica during Vietnam.
Yes, you mentioned that. He
Yeah.
depending on your opinion, he either got really stupidly lucky or really unlucky. Personally, I don't know. I guess I'd rather be in Antarctica than Vietnam.
My dad would need to comment on this, and this will take up a lot of time. But from what I understand, he volunteered for the Coast Guard, and they stuck him in Antarctica during Vietnam. And I'm like, he told me that on the phone. Like I was like 7 or 8, and I talked to him for like an hour or two, just talking to my Uncle Donnie.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, we were just talking, and then he talked to me about being in Antarctica. And anyway, yeah, my dad can.
It's funny.
tell
My
you more about
grandfather, because I asked my grandfather to tell me about the war and stuff, and he always said, because again, I was a kid at the time. He said, I didn't need to know anything about that. Kids don't need to know about what happens in war, which is a valid opinion.
that.
I always felt kind of bad because he came back home. Everyone said he was a hero. He got a Bronze Star. He got, I want to say, a couple Purple Hearts. Tons of badges and awards for his marksmanship and his skill as a mechanic, actually. Which is funny. He was originally a mechanic.
That's one of
He
the
goes
things
into the
I
military.
actually-
He goes into the Marines. And he basically became a renowned sharpshooter. He used to always joke that they wanted him for the Secret Service. And I asked him why he didn't do it. Why didn't you join the Secret Service? He always answered, quote, because politicians aren't worth the bullet. Now, little kid me, I always thought he meant taking a bullet for a politician, right? You know, looking back now, it's like, was he saying that he wasn't worth it to shoot the politicians? You know?
And again, my dad would need to comment on this more, but I was little. I was like 10. He told me about his draft number during Vietnam. He had just turned 18, but Nixon ended the draft.
Right.
Thank you, Nixon. Nobody gives him credit. Thank you for ending the draft. But
No, I'll give him
my
that.
dad said he was ready to go.
Yeah.
And my dad told me you can look up your number, and you knew when you would be drafted, and that's why Draft Dodgers
Would
can do
check
that.
it, yeah.
And political commentary. I'm not going to blame draft dodgers. Jimmy Carter pardoned them. Thank you. But yeah, my dad told me he was ready to go. My uncle, he got drafted, but he knew it beforehand, and he joined the branch that he wanted to. And then they send him to Antarctica.
Yeah.
And that's a conversation I had when I was like 8 or 9 with my uncle. I'm like, yeah, okay. And I mean, I'm 8 or 9. I'm like, oh, okay, I understand Vietnam. I understand what's going on, but...
Oh, excuse me. My grandfather didn't get a Purple Heart. But he did get a Bronze Star. And a shit ton of other medals. But the reason I was mentioning that is because it always seemed like he carried a lot of guilt about the war, you know? Because let's be honest here, bad stuff happens in war.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But it always seemed, I feel like he carried that on his conscience, you know? Which is kind of funny because then you had my Uncle Paul, my great Uncle Paul, excuse me, who went and was also in Vietnam, was in the Marine Corps, and I love my great uncle very much. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to speak in all honesty. I think he was sincerely insane because he was the exact opposite of my grandfather. He would joke about it. He would joke about his time in war. He was a chemist, actually, and I don't think I need to elaborate what kind of chemicals were, being used in Vietnam. But I think in a way he coped with what happened by going insane. He laughed because he couldn't cry. But he would love to tell me stories about the war. He would, and it's funny because actually I remember there were a couple times when he would come over and visit, and he would start telling a story, and my grandfather would just stare at him so bad that, like, I'm amazed my Uncle Paul didn't turn to stone or something. He was like, don't talk about that in front of the boy. He always called me that. He always called me sport when he was talking to me, or I was the boy. He almost never called me by my name.
That's the thing. You should do a show on this because
I know. I'm bringing this up now when, like, I keep saying we're going to end the show. Well, we talked about the horrors of war before. We talked about, like, ghost stories and cryptid sightings and stuff from war.
Yeah, but that's not
war stories themselves.
See, the thing about war is people in war don't talk about it.
No, they don't.
And
that's understandable, by the way. For the record, that's not cowardice.
No, it's...
Now, if any veterans hear this, and you need someone to talk to, there are lines. Hell, talk to me. My DMs over on social media are not closed. If you need to talk to somebody, I'm right here. You know what I mean? But, yeah, people don't like to talk about war. Or the worst part is that the people who do talk about war don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing, because you hear about our grandparents talking about war, and it's not pleasant.
It's not pleasant. It's not simple.
This is the first thing that came up. VeteransCrisisLine.net.
Yeah.
For any veterans.
Yeah.
The thing is, I mean, everyone here has considered serving. Me personally, I
was this close. I was this close. And you know the sad thing is I've always kind of felt weird about it. Because on the one hand, I don't believe in getting upset about what could have been. You know what I mean? It's like, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant now. But I have to admit, I have kind of wondered sometimes, what would my life look like if I did take, the offer? Because because I was in the California Cadet Corps, which I think some states call it like ROTC or something like that. Basically, it's like the military, but you're in high school. And my commandant told me that, I I should consider going into the Marines like my grandfather, like my great uncle, and so on. But then he was like, the problem is that you have a blood condition, my hypoglycemia. He said it was very likely the Marines would say you wouldn't be fit for field duty. But that's okay, because there's lots of officer kind of jobs that we could get you into. And he was like, I mean, it'll be hard, but we could easily start you off. I mean, especially given who your grandfather was and things like that. Like, pedigree matters in the Marines. The Marines care about who your daddy was or your grandfather and stuff like that. And he was like, no, we could absolutely get you in, just not as a soldier traditionally. And he was saying how, like, you know, he had me pegged. He was like, you should be a logistics officer. You'd be a great logistics officer. And I was a hothead, you know, senior in high school. I wasn't like, I'm not going to go through the training to become a Marine just so I can sit behind a desk. And so I didn't pursue joining the Marines. And I've always kind of wondered about, you know, how much would be different of my life. You know what I mean? Like, would I have created the vagrancy horror? I mean, again, for me personally, it's what is. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't join the Marines. Period. There is no other way this story goes on.
They do say there's divine intervention, maybe.
Maybe I was stopped, yeah. I know. But, like I said, I've always kind of wondered about it. Not that I regret it. I mean, even if I did regret it, there's no point to it, right? There's no point to regretting it. But anyway, my point is, yeah, no. Yeah, a lot of people who talk about war don't know the first damn thing about it.
No, they don't.
And the funny thing is myself included, I wasn't in Vietnam. I can tell you the stories that my great uncle told me about it. Some of them were truly horrible. One of them, I'm pretty sure my grandfather almost hit him for telling me. I mean it too. I sincerely think that my grandfather probably wanted to clock my great uncle. I won't tell that story here, because I keep saying that we're going to end the show.
Well, I mean, as many stories as we hear from the people who talk about the war, that's probably only 1%.
Oh yeah,
people don't talk about it.
No, bad things happen.
I've never been in war.
I
can imagine. I've been shot at and
I had a bullet grazed my hair. So I get the idea of, I understand combat, but
I was gonna say I know what it's like to hide in a bush and not get hit by the BB guns, the paintball guns, the potato guns, which those hurt.
Oh jeez, I remember my grandfather.
Nothing compared to actual war, and I can only imagine. Like,
I'm gonna lighten it up real quick because I have a potato gun story.
Oh yeah, I shot my friend.
You shot your friend? No,
accidentally.
My grandfather.
Good.
My grandfather.
My friend Josh.
My grandfather told me he wanted to make a potato gun with me.
Oh, I
asked him what is a potato gun. He said basically it's like the world's smallest artillery cannon. And here's the thing. My grandmother, she was not a spry woman usually. I think I saw her run like 3 times in my life. But when she was in the kitchen and she heard my grandfather mention a potato gun, she swooped in like a lightning bolt thrown by Zeus and just clocked him in the back of the head and said, no, you are not giving him a potato gun. You two will tear the house down if you had a potato gun. And he looked up at her like, what'd I do? That was one of, he had catchphrases. There were certain things he would say routinely. And one of them was, what did I do? That was his response anytime anyone accused him of anything. He was always innocent. He was never a chaos monger. He was never an impish, evil man. I can say that because he was my grandfather. You call him evil, I'll kick your ass. He was a hero. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I knew a different part of him. He was a hero. Undeniably so. He was also a mischievous little lord of chaos. And it kind of warms my heart that I see Sean. And so many times...
Sean's never made a potato gun in his life.
No.
I'm calling you out, Sean.
No. But here's the thing. There are so many times I've read his stuff in the chats. And...
Come up here to Denver. We'll make a potato gun.
Don't say that on a live microphone, you bastard!
I made 3 when I was a kid.
The FBI agent hiding in the bushes back there is just like, oh boy, I've got him now! But anyway, I'm going to finish my statement.
And to add fuel to the fire,
Oh,
apparently
please
they're
don't.
illegal in Portland. And me and my friend Josh, we made them. And we stacked up milk crates in his backyard and just blasted it. And then there was one time there was a potato in it, and I thought the gas was empty. I'm not going to explain how a potato gun is made. And I just clicked it, shot him right in the fucking elbow. And he's just like, you shot me. I'm like, I just shot you. Are you okay? He's like, yeah, I barely noticed it. I'm like, I'm so sorry. There was a potato in that. No, I shot him like from here, just bam, right in his elbow. My dad knows who I'm talking about, my friend Josh. But yeah,
He wants to fight you in Hell in the Cell.
Oh,
I'm going to finish my statement, though.
Sean?
Yeah. I have to admit, there are so many times I've read Sean's comments, and it's like I could almost hear them in my grandfather's voice.
Two people I would love to fight. Edge. Okay, 3 people I'd love to fight. Edge.
Okay.
Edge.
Old man with a damaged neck.
Back in his heyday.
Okay.
Edge. John Moxley, currently, and MJF currently.
Not Sean, though. So we're not getting...
If Sean wants to.
So we're not getting the Lord of Chaos against Dr. Bible in a cage.
If you pay for it.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay for it.
Those are my 3 dream matches. And I know I'll lose, but...
Anyway, back to my point. Look, yes, my grandfather was absolutely a hero.
Use a rubber ball? No, use a potato.
That's your dad.
Or
Of course,
beer.
Jesus is sitting there. I'll help you break the law.
And the time my friend shot me in the back with a potato gun, I'm like, just do it. He like blasted me and it hit me like up here and it didn't really hurt.
Well, you must have been making weak-ass potato guns. Anyway, though, my point is my grandfather was
and
an
the time
absolute...
I blasted other people, they got welts.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Stop confessing to crimes on my show, please. Anyway.
It's Denver. The laws are less here.
I'm not going to make the joke. Anyway, my grandfather was an absolute war hero. He was also a Lord of Chaos. And it warms my heart to see Sean follow in his example so well. But anyway, if we're done alluding to criminal activity into a live microphone, what even has tonight's show been? I wanted to talk about goofy conspiracies and silly ridiculousness. Somehow we got into fervent arguments about... You know what's funny is this is going to be somebody's favorite episode. Tara, I hope JR doesn't see this chat. You're a married woman talking like that. But anyway, I'm going to say let's wrap this insanity up. Our dear bishop in the corner.
Usually I try not to talk much, but I talked a lot this show.
Oh yeah, no, apparently I pissed you off. Half this show you seemed ready to go to war. And then we talk about that, by the way. But no.
You should do a show about
More about war stories? Yeah.
That's more sensitive than the
conspiracy stuff, yeah.
JFK assassination.
Yeah. Well, actually, well, before we go...
Because, I mean, I have stories. I mean, I looked into it for 2 years. I mean, you've looked into it. The Kobold, looked into it.
I grew up legitimately... A good chunk of my childhood was spent assuming I would go into the Marine Corps. Because that's what my family does.
See,
You know what I mean? It was like, it wasn't even a question. It was, yeah, we become Marines.
See, I spent a good 2 years looking into it, debating it, and I ended up deciding, no, this isn't for me, and I still look back on that, like, what if I did?
Well, it's yeah, but you can't beat yourself up over it because it didn't happen.
don't. But it's like,
but
I actually considered going into the military, and it's like
Air Force.
I looked at the Air Force, but no, I was considering Navy or Army.
Okay, so for the uninitiated,
I
was just implying that you were a nerd.
Nah.
And then you implied that you were considering becoming a gay or level 1. Okay, so real quick, the big insults for the 4 branches are that the Marines are idiots.
Meatheads,
and they eat crayons.
Yes.
The Air Force are a bunch of nerds.
Yes.
The Navy are all gay.
Yes.
And the Army are basically a bunch of people who couldn't get past level 1.
Yes.
And then there's the Coast Guard and the National Guard, who are babysitters.
Puddle pirates.
The puddle pirates.
I knew a puddle pirate.
That's the insult joke, though. So yeah, for the record, when I said I bet you were going to join the Air Force, I was calling you a nerd.
Which is weird because behind the scenes I'm a nerd, but.
My nephew Dakota is thinking to join the Marines or the Coast Guard. Well, before he does decide, you make sure that he understands Marines is actually an acronym. Muscles are required. Intelligence not essential, sir!
My ass rides in a Navy vessel.
That's another one. That's another good one.
If Dakota's listening...
Think very hard about it.
Yeah,
do not make the decision rashly or quickly. It is a very big decision.
It is.
There are pros and there are cons. But anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
I talked to recruiters and
yeah,
I decided not to. So if you're listening, seriously think about it.
Yeah, don't make a rash decision in either direction. But anyway,
don't look at history, because with what's going on now.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this up tonight. I am Kristoff N, your host. We got the bishop over in the corner. My beloved companions, Famine and Gluttony. Choopy is... Oh! I taste blood.
Are you okay?
I taste blood. Ow! Ow! Oh, thank you. Go play with those goats over there. I seriously taste blood. That is probably the hardest I've ever been hit by that thing. Anyway, next week, we're going to be talking about giants. Giants in mythology, sightings of giants in cryptozoology. But in the meantime, boys and girls, thank you for all the birthday well wishes. To all my Americans, have a happy Thanksgiving.
And to all our non-Americans, thank you for being here.
Thanks for being here. Sorry that you're not as free as us, I guess. I don't know. Have some turkey anyway. One last time to all our veterans who might hear this, thank you very much. It has been one hell of a show. I'm amazed we haven't gotten off the air. But anyway. And of course, real quick, to my FBI spy who was monitoring me, hiding in the bushes. You smell bad. Yeah, I said it. Anyway. As always, boys and girls, keep checking the shadows.